Right, we're back with Mark Austin and Cameron Mallock from Magnetic Trading, making their first appearance on the show. Delighted to see you here, lads. Morning. Basically, because I know there's a lot of day traders watching the program here, and I'd like to have more day trader-centric content on here, because obviously the FTSE and DAX, people are just obsessed by these markets. But the first question: what is magnetic trading, Mark?
Magnetic Trading, okay, so it's a trading company which we set up a few years ago, concentrating on FTSE, DAX and the Dow. So we're predominantly trading the first hour of the market open.
So you trade the first hour and then it's off to the golf course?
That's it, trade the first hour. Actually, typically most of our trades are done about 15 minutes. So, so we run the service, we trade live. We actually run a live trading room now. So we log into a room, people actually hear us on the mic. A bit like this situation, they can see our charts and trade with us live in that environment, which they find quite useful.
They can send you smiley faces when you've done well.
Yeah. Then they can shout at us if we get it wrong as well. Yeah.
Right. So it's actually just it doesn't take the whole part of the day. And that's the thing. Day trading, what traditionally they're sweating by the screen for like 8 hours, and you make a loss before 8 o'clock, and you've got to try and get it back, and you're all over the place. But this is, you've got a strategy.
Sure.
It happens or it doesn't happen, and then you walk away.
Yeah, I mean, we're just basically looking for when the market is out of balance. So we're looking for extreme moves, and we're looking to see a price inefficiency, and we're looking to take advantage of that. And so typically that's why most of our trades are done at the open, because a lot of the time the market will open on an extreme area, and we'll look to take advantage of that.
Right. I mean, lots of experts on the internet everywhere. It seems every other person, you Google FTSE trading, and you'll just have a sort of whole plethora of people saying, be with us, subscribe to us, we're the best. What's different between you and the rest of the pack?
I think the reason why we're so popular is that we trade at a set time each day. So we're trading. Most people log in around 7:45 UK time, and we're done and dusted around 8:15. Plus our hit rate's very good. We're, average over the last 5 years is 70%. Plus we audit all our accounts in a live account. So all our trades are actually done in a live account, and they are audited.
All right, let's have, you brought in some slides. Let's have a look at those, because sure. You can only talk so much about these things. Right, this is the performance here. It's going back to June 2013, and you've got the hit rate, the return, and everything else. Relatively smooth progress. I mean, this has obviously been a very volatile period, especially recently with, let's say, over the summer, it was like a nightmare. How do you cope with that? And how, is it some days you just sort of say, well, don't do anything, it's too scary out there?
Some days we don't trade, but volatility is our friend. We need it. If the markets are really slow, actually, that's when we struggle to make money in the markets. But if volatility is high, it's great for us. There's more opportunities. Right,
and what do you say to people who they say you can never make money on a sustained basis by trading intraday? You've got to trade long term.
I think it is very difficult to make money long term now. I think that it's a tricky environment, lots of things going on. I mean, typically a lot of people think day trading is risky, but we're actually in and out of the market very quickly. We're not subject to any sort of news coming out, any ECB news announcements, and we're not holding any positions overnight. So it's nice to finish the day, put your head on the pillow and not worry about anything. We're completely liquid.
It's interesting because people who follow the fundamentals, like the earnings, etc., companies usually turn their nose up at technical traders. But actually, if you look at what fundamental analysts do, quite often they're just a glorified momentum trade. And the stock goes up, they raise their target price, and they'll come up with the numbers to justify it. And it goes down, then they'll go, oh, I don't really know what's going on. And we've seen it time again with the miners. All they've done is their target price is always 20% above a declining spot price. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's any better or worse. It's just different.
There's always a big battle against fundamentals and technical, but we're not just technical. We're actually, what we do, technical sides, we're actually quite, it's only a very small portion of our trading. We're really looking for market inefficiencies, and we call it market function. So today there'll be a dividend on the FTSE, and we'll be looking to buy the FTSE up for that dividend. The next day, usually, if the market opens down, you'll see the traders ramp it up to get out of any shares that they've bought at break-even or a small profit. Right. That's got nothing to do with technical analysis or fundamentals. It's quite different.
Yes. Right, and this service is also is for the beginner. Is it for the? Because you've been doing this for years. Let's say.
Sure.
I've been following your work. could you be a beginner and do this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't need much experience because we're telling you what to do. So we're telling you when to buy, where to put the stop, and where to put the target. And as I said, we're not sat there all day. It's typically done all done and dusted within half an hour.
Right, we've got 3 charts remaining. Just want to get through that, and then we'll speak to Cameron.
Sure.
Right. So this is what's this telling us here? The FTSE
So
trades for October.
these were the trades we did last month. Actually, I wouldn't say that it was actually a tricky month last month. I wouldn't say there were very high probability trades last month, but we were basically doing very short in and out trades. Now the points here actually, what we do is for a 4% trade we record that as a full pip. Now for 1% I would record the amount of points as 0.25. So the actual pips we made is a lot more than that, because most of the trades we did at 1% or 0.5% last month, because there wasn't anything very high probability. But these are all the trades we took. We had a couple of losses. But typically, if you run a service, you've got to have a very high win rate. If you take 3-4 losses in a row,
isn't that quite frustrating?
It was at the
beginning. In fact, the right way to trade is to have 7 out of 6 or 7 out of 10 losses, and then the 3 big winners. But people are like, they'll send you unsmiley faces on your
losses. I mean, losses. If we got 4 losses in a row, we would probably lose 50% of our service.
Right.
That's the reality.
So that's the pressure that you're under, even though it's an unfair pressure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Okay. Next slide. Right, this is the equity curve, which seems to be quite a nice one.
So yeah, I mean, this typically points out why we do what we do and the strategy we use, because we're not having big drawdowns here, so we're not losing much, but we make steady gains. It's nothing dramatic, but you can see over the years we've been doing this. It's a nice steady equity curve.
Have you modified your system very much over that period of time?
Yes, it has changed slightly. Not too much. So I mean, it's always been the first half an hour trade.
Right.
In fact, actually, of late, we've got a few more sort of systems or methodology that we use, but it's still sort of based around the first hour of trade.
Okay.
All right. Final slide, if we can go to that. Rather complex looking, but what is this telling us?
So this is just really telling us what the trades we did. I mean, actually, this isn't done by me. This is audited by.
So all this data is independently audited.
Totally.
It's not you just sort of like writing it down.
No. We don't audit anything. So everything is audited outside, externally to us. So these are the spreadsheets that the external auditors use for the FTSE service.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to go on to Cameron Malik. You trade. Well, you specialise in what, the DAX and the US markets.
DAX and US markets. More focused on the DAX these days, but did focus on the Dow for a long time and also the Nasdaq.
Right. And how did you get into this? Because I know you're young. You're sort of newer to this business than Mark.
Yeah, sure. I came to trading a little bit later than Mark. Mark's always been in finances, but I really came through business. I ran very large businesses. And I love business, run businesses since I was 20. But I was looking for a business which I didn't have the incumbents of all of the traditional business have. Having lots of staff, having large overheads, offices, insurances.
Office politics.
Ridiculous cash flow issues. I was supplying the supermarkets who love to take stock, and they'll eventually pay you one day while you borrow more money from the bank. So, I was looking for the type of business to get into. I was, in a way, trading, if you like, on real physical items going into the supermarket. So with trading, I found that I could do pretty much what I was doing before. However, as Mark has explained, we're flat most days. So by the time we get to 8:30 in the morning, all of our money's back with us. There's very few businesses that you can say, okay, if I want to leave my business today, I can up sticks and I can take all my money. I'm completely liquid. And for people, you don't need to have that much. It's not a large amount of money that you need to be able to trade the markets. Where if you want to make a reasonable 6-figure salary from a business, you're probably going to need millions, if not $1 million.
Right. So the advantage of magnetic trading, you've got a structure there, you've got a relatively short trading day window, which is your trading time window, and basically you also have somebody to hold your hand in the markets and stop you making the silly mistakes like averaging up, down, moving a stop loss, and just generally trading when you should be trading. Is that the most
key thing? High win
discipline?
Rate. It's a set time each day, so people know when they're going to come and trade, and it's easy to follow. So.
Right.
I think they're the winning ingredients why we've been around for so long.
Okay, and if they want to get, if people like the sound of you, what do they do now?
They go to www.magnetictrading.com and they can read more about what we do and sign up for some free reports as well. So we send out some of our reports after the open as well, so they can sign up to the free reports there.
Okay, great. Cameron Malik, Mark Austin, Magnetic Trading. Thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
We'll be back after the break.